welcome to Miniature Addiction Club. Today I'm going to be making two different Valentine's Day cakes out of polymer clay. The first one is going to be a red velvet cake, so I'm mixing some red, brown and black clay together for the sponge. The pre-made Sculpey Primo clay in the colour alizarin would be perfect for this, but I didn't have any, so I mixed my own. I rolled out the sheet of clay roughly 4 to 5 millimeters thick and used a circle cutter to cut 3 layers. For the cream cheese frosting, I found some light coloured clay in my scrap box that just happened to be the perfect colour. It is a mixture of white, ecru, yellow and translucent clay. I highly recommend using translucent clay when you're making miniature food, as this makes things look more realistic. I rolled the clay into a thin strip using my pasta machine, and I used the same circle cutter to cut 2 more circles, sandwiching them between the red sponge layers. I pressed the layers together gently and put my cake in the fridge for a few minutes to harden. That way when I slice it, it doesn't become too misshapen. I used a sharp blade to cut out a little slice. I added some texture to the slice using a bristle brush and my creepy dentist tool. Next, I went ahead and dragged down some of the icing with my small dotting tool to look like the icing would if you'd cut through a real cake. Then I flipped the slice over, laying it down on some rough sandpaper and textured the other side. The sandpaper helps compress the crumbs without losing too much detail. Then I textured the inside of the cake as well, just as I did for the slice, and then I baked them for around 20 minutes. Always follow the baking instructions on your clay packet, as brands may vary. Once it had cooled down, I attached another layer of icing to the top of the cake, cutting out the small triangle section. I also covered the slice, wrapping both the top and the outside. Then I cut a strip to wrap around the outside of the cake. I stuck this down with some liquid Fimo to hold it in place. I trimmed off the excess and smoothed down all of the edges. And then use the back of a pearl-headed pin to create some texture in the icing to look like it had been spread with a knife or spatula. I did the same to the small slice and baked them again. Then I painted on some little red hearts using acrylic paint. In hindsight, I wish I had used some gel or medium to add a bit more of a raised up look and give it more texture. I found this cute little Cupid guy, so I'm sticking him on top and adding some little whipped cream dots around him. For the second cake, I took some scrap clay and rolled it into a thick slab about 1.5 centimeters high. I cut out a heart-shaped template and placed that on top of my slab, cutting away the excess clay. I smoothed out some of the lines, then baked it. Then I sanded the sides flat. I rolled out a thin sheet of light pink clay and cut a strip to wrap around the cake. Once again, I'm using liquid Fimo to adhere the clay. I used my silicone tool to press the clay into the top of the heart and smooth out the joins in the clay. I also added pink clay to the top of the cake and smoothed out the edges before baking. To make the decorative icing, I made a small section, baked it, then made a silicone mold and let that cure. Now I can just press my clay into the mold and make endless strips of piped icing. I unfortunately lost my footage of making the mould, so if you would like to see a more in-depth video and using silicone moulding putty, let me know in the comments. I attached the strips of icing around the bottom of the cake as well as the top, and then I decided to add some whipped cream and cherries to the top. Once again, I'm using a mould to make the whipped cream, and I'm using a dark red clay to roll out some cherries, which I attached with liquid Fimo. I poked a little hole in each one so that I could add stems later on. Then I attached them to the cake. I rolled out some super skinny snakes for the cherry stalks and baked everything once again. Next, I added some curved white snakes of clay to the sides of the cake. Then I cut the tip off the whipped cream to cover up any of the joins. Next, I added the cherry stalks with some liquid clay and baked again. To add some gloss to the cherries, I used some Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. And there we have our 2 different Valentine's Day cakes. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favourite. Let me know if you celebrate Valentine's Day and what is the most romantic thing or the worst thing that's happened to you on Valentine's Day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.